Hey, the Dependent Inspiration Hub here. So today I'm going to be talking to you about a Node project that I've not talked about yet on my channel. So I heard about this project through the ATA community because they also partnered with ATA. So I had a look at their docs. I saw that they would be having a Node sale in Q2 2024. What is interesting is that they currently are running this incentivized testnet, which is currently live. And then basically those who participate in spinning up this testnet node would have a portion of the upcoming airdrop. So as it states here, you would earn rewards and get access to the whitelist spots for the upcoming node sale. Now, so this project is called RIVALZ AI. And basically what is RIVALZ AI? I had a look at their docs and it looks like they are building, or they have built sort of a system that would basically power a wide range of AI applications, right? This would focus primarily on processing and managing the data in a smart way that would make it a bit easier for developers to be able to create and run different applications or different AI applications that can be adapted for various needs. Now, what is pretty interesting is that this whole project is built on the Cosmos ecosystem. So as you can see on their homepage, it's powered by Celestia and it's built on Dimensions. Now, the project is made up of 3 basic blocks. So they have this rCLIENT, which I'm basically going to teach you how to set up today. So the rCLIENT, all you have to do is to install the software, and then you dedicate some part of your PC resources, being it your disk space, being it your CPU and stuff like that, this resource to the project, and then you get basically rewarded for this. The reason why I'm going to do this tutorial with you is that for the upcoming node sales, there are different ways you can participate in it, being it through social engagements. But what I also read and also heard from the team is that those who would be spinning up this rCLIENT would basically climb up faster on the leaderboard. So they also have this Z node, and this is the node sale that is going to take place. And these nodes are going to serve as validators, just checking the integrity and security of the network. And finally, they have this REASE token, and I believe that is going to be the token that is going to power the whole network. So to sign up, I'm extremely happy if you sign up using my referral link, because this would also help me secure the whitelist spot. And you know that when I get a whitelist spot and I get a node, it means that I'm going to be doing some tutorials for you as well. So just put in my referral link in the address bar to basically enter the website. So this would bring you to the dashboard. So here, this is what they call the miners. And what you have to do here is to just connect your wallets by clicking on Connect Wallet here. Select the wallet that you would like to connect to. I'm going to choose that wallet and I'm going to confirm the transaction. And here, all you have to do is to sign the transaction, just to be sure that you know what you are signing. Now, so they have their own blockchain, which is called the RIVALZ network. So they previously had one that was called RIVALZ testnet, but I saw yesterday that they pushed out a new one, which is called the RIVALZ network v2. So if you do not have this network in your MetaMask would also give you the option to be able to add the network. So as you can see, they have different ways you can engage in. So you have the social points, which will basically be engaging on Twitter and stuff like that. If you haven't already connected your Twitter, you would already see I think you would see a button here that would allow you to connect your Twitter to the account or to the console, so that you would also be able to get some referral points. Now, what you see here is the client points, and like I said, if you are spinning up these testnet nodes, you're going to climb up faster in terms of points, because you get way more points than trying to be involved in the social engagement. But you can also be involved in this, but I've just realized that if you spin up the node, you would climb up faster. So currently I have 3 nodes that are running. So you can see that I have 3 nodes that are running. Basically these are the rCLIENT type nodes. So the rCLIENT type nodes, everyone can download and install. You do not need to buy a license to do so. And then what happens is that you'll be getting points. So here I'm getting 200 points per hour on one of my nodes. I think it's the longest node that I've been spending now, which is on a 1 day, almost 2 days that this node has been active. So soon all the 2 nodes that I have here would also be climbing up on the leaderboard to get about 200 points an hour. So like with all projects, I want to emphasize that participation doesn't guarantee that you're going to get a huge amount of the airdrop. So I'm personally participating in this because I find the project to be interesting, and I would also really advise that you do the same. I mean, do your own research to be sure of what you are doing, before you try to participate in this. So what I'm currently doing is all the 3 nodes that I'm running here are currently running on a VPS. So there are 2 ways that you can set up the node. You can set one on a Windows client, which is extremely easy. All you have to do is to come here, click on download the rCLIENT. I can show you how this works, and then basically if you are using the Windows, you can use this. If you are using a Mac OS, you can download this. If you are using a Linux, you can download this on an rCLIENT. So I personally like to run such projects on a VPS because of security reasons, just to secure my home network. Nothing against the RIVALZ team, but I just personally find it a bit more comfortable to do it that way. Secondly, because there are a lot of node projects that are running at a point, my bandwidth will just get choked, right? And that's why I like to outsource this to other institutions to do it for me. Now, what are the requirements to run an rCLIENT node? So as it states here, you need 4 GB of RAM, which is typically easy to get. The tricky one here is the 4-core CPU, right? For the disk space, you need minimum of 50 GB SSD, and for the internet speed, this is extremely low what you need. Now, I looked through all the VPS provided out there, and the cheapest that I found was Contabo. So with Contabo, for instance, you just need to pay 4.5 euros a month, and you'd get 4 CPU cores, 6 GB of RAM, 100 GB NVMe disk space, or I would go with the 400 SSD option, right? And you would have up to 32 terabytes of traffic, which I find to be, I mean, for 4.5 euros, I found the price to be extremely good. Now, one of the very, very cool members of their Discord channel, so called Crypto Node Farmer, created an instruction on how you can set up this node in the VPS. So like I said, I'm going to be taking you through the instruction or how to set this up, and then you will see how easy it is to set up the node. So like I said, with VPS and with Linux, there's always a few commands that we have to play with, but I'll take you through all the commands that you can follow as well. So now to begin with, I'm going to come to Contabo, and then here I'm going to start with the node setup fee. So like I think he also mentioned it somewhere. I just want to go there to make sure that you understand what I'm doing. So I'm going to be going with a cloud VPS because I intend to only run the rCLIENT on it, and maybe I would also include node pay. But like he said here, if you intend to run other node clients like KO2, then he would recommend that you go with a cloud VPS 2, which would be this one here. But in my case, I'm going to be running only this client and also maybe node pay, and that's why I would go with this option here. So just click on select here, and then here you can select how the duration within which you want it. So I would start with 1 month so that I don't have any binding in terms of doing this for 1 year. And then for the region, you don't need to change anything. You can leave this at European Union. I mean, this would mean that your node would be somewhere in Germany, but this is more than, I mean, your server would be somewhere in Germany, but this is more than sufficient. I mean, if you choose any other thing, you would have to pay extra. And I also did not see any specific added advantage about paying €1 or €2 more just to get a client closer to you. And then here for the SSD, for the disk space, 400 GB is more than sufficient. And as you can see here, if you go with this option, it's going to be free. If you choose anything else, so if you choose 600 or 150, you're going to pay a bit more. You can go with 100 NVMe, but I find it, I mean, you don't really need that high read-write speed, and you would also get only 100 GB, and that's why it's a better option to go with the 400 GB SSD. For the operating system, we're going to run on Ubuntu, so you can choose Ubuntu 22.04. And like I said, if you want to go with the Windows option, you would have to pay on top $6.5 or 6.5 euros, which is typical because with Windows you always have to pay for the license. So here I'm going to leave this as Ubuntu 22.04. And then here, what is very, very important, so the username is going to be root. You're going to put in a password here, right? And with this password, that's what you're going to be using to connect to the console. So please make sure that you use a password that you're going to store somewhere, because if you do not do this, you can basically trash the VPS because you can't connect to it. And then here for disk, object storage, networking, add-ons, everything, you don't need to put in anything. So I'm just going to put in my password, and I'm going to click on the next button to go to the next stage. And then here, if you're already a customer, I mean, if you are new to Contabo, you can create a new account. I'm already a customer, so I'm going to log into my account and then basically make the rest of the payment. I think the payments, I don't need to make a tutorial on it. I'm pretty sure that everyone knows how to make the payments. It could be that you would have to pay a one-time payment of some amount. I think it was $5 or $6 US, but this is a one-time payment. Actually, how much you're going to pay every month is going to be 4.5 euros. So here you basically get a summary of everything that you have chosen. So I'm going to go with this Cloud VPS 1, and it basically tells me all the options that are going to come with this package. And then here I'm also going with a 1 month option, so I can just order and pay, and then I'll go to the next step. So when you place the order, it can take up to 1 hour for you to receive the credentials to log in into your server. So just be a bit more patient. Most of the time it came earlier than 1 hour, but when you make the order and you do not see any email as to what the credentials would be, just wait a bit longer. Soon you would get an email as to the credentials which you are going to use to log in into the console. So after some time, you're going to receive an email which would look like this. Basically, you're going to get the details. So mine is in German, don't worry about it. The context or the format is going to basically remain the same. So you're going to get an IP address to your server. You're going to see the server type that you chose. So my server is currently in Karlsruhe in EU, and then you get a VNC IP, you get your password and stuff like that. So to connect to the console, what you're going to need is you're going to need the IP address here. You're going to need the username. So Benitsaname just means username. And then the password is going to be the password that you used when you were setting up the server. Now, there are several ways that you can connect to the server. So you can use one. There's an application that is called Putty. So I can also show you how this application looks, which you can basically download for free on the Putty website. So here, when you come to Putty, basically all you have to do is to put in the IP address of your server. So I'm going to put in my IP address now. I'm going to put in the IP address here, and I'm going to press enter. So what you can also do is that if you want, you can save the session. So I can actually call this session RIVALZ, and then you can click save, and this would basically save the session. Now to connect, just double click on this to connect to the server, and then you're going to get a notification that if you are sure you want to connect to the server. So I'm just going to click on accept. And then here you're going to have a window where you're going to have to log in. So the username, so here it's asking you first what the username is. The username is always roots. So just type in roots and then press enter. And then here you can put in your password. So I'm just going to copy the password because I saved it somewhere. So I would recommend that type the password somewhere you can see it, because when you're putting in the password here, you wouldn't see what you are typing, right? So it sometimes it gets a bit confusing. So to paste in Putty or to paste in the console, just right click, it would basically paste everything that you have in the clipboard and then press enter. And then you see that this has connected me to my server. So my server is Contabo, as you can see here. Now there's another way that you can also do this. If you're using a Windows operating system, there's a program built in Windows that is called PowerShell. So just come to PowerShell. So you can open PowerShell. When it opens, just type SSH space roots. So roots is the username of your username of your server. Then type @ and then just type in the IP address of your server. So I'm going to type in the IP address of my server here, and then just press enter. And then here Windows is going to ask you if you're sure you want to add this fingerprint. So just type yes. Press enter, and then here as well it's going to ask you for the password. So just as it was with Putty, and you just right click to paste whatever you have in the clipboard and then press enter. So you wouldn't see the password, but this is actually connected, as you can see here. So both of these applications can connect me to the console. I'm going to continue with Putty, right? Or actually I'm going to continue with PowerShell because I really use it a lot. Now if you're using a Mac OS, there is also this terminal application that is built into Mac OS. The commands would be the same. It's going to be roots SSH space roots at the IP address of your server. So at this stage I'm going to split the screen into two, so one for the VPS console and then one for the tutorial that was created by Crypto Node Farmer. Now to begin with, we're going to have to run a script here, which is basically going to install. So the Ubuntu client that we have currently is the Ubuntu server that does not have a UI interface. And then here what we're going to do is we're going to install Ubuntu desktop, and at the same time we're going to download the RIVALZ client. So here he created a script which is extremely good. All you have to do is to come here and copy this text here, right click copy, and then you can open any text editor. So I would go with Notepad so that I don't have any problem with formatting, and just paste in the script here. And then when you scroll up, all you have to do is to select this portion here which is called username. Put in your username. So my username, I'm going to call this DPN, and then here you're going to put in your password. So use any password that you want to use. So if it gets confusing, you can use the same password that you used to set up the VPS server. So I'm just going to paste in my password now. So after you have pasted the password, now just come down here. I'm going to come down to the tutorial and just copy this command here. So this command is going to create a script file that is called Up RIVALZ AI, and then we're going to have this text editor which is called Nano to edit the file. So I'm just going to copy this here. I'm going to come into the console, right click to paste this. I didn't copy. Let me try this again. Come here, right click, and I pasted this in and just press enter. So you see that it creates a new file that you can edit. So here what you have to do is to just copy whatever you have in the text editor and then paste this in. So I have copied everything and I have pasted this here. I can minimize this or close this. So at this point all you have to do is to press. So you can see down here it gives you the instruction of everything you want to do. So what we're going to try to do is to exit by pressing Ctrl X, right? And then it's going to ask you, are you sure, do you want to save this changes that we made? So just type Y for yes. You can see this also at the bottom here. So Y is for yes, N is for no, and Ctrl C is for cancel. So I'm just going to press Y to save this, and then it's going to ask you the file name that you want to write this to. So at this point just press enter to save the file. Now the second thing that we're going to do is we're going to use the script to run the script. So I'm just going to come here, paste this in here, and then basically all you have to do here is to press enter. So here it's going to start installing or downloading the Ubuntu desktop, and it's also going to download the rCLIENT that we're going to use. It will take some time. I'm just going to give it some time for everything to finish, and then when it's finished, I'm going to show you the next steps that we're going to do. So you see that now I have a progress bar, which is basically starting from 2%. So I just started, and basically when it gets to 100%, the process would be done. So now that downloading took place, and now it's currently downloading this rCLIENT package. And as you can see here, that was very quick because the download file is actually just 17.1 megabytes. Now there's the second thing that we're going to do. So I'm going to skip through a bit of the tutorial. I'm going to come to this part. There's a second script that we're going to have to run. This script is going to make sure that we do not have, so that currently it appears there's a problem with doing the validation, but he also provided another script that we can install here to fix this problem. Now to do this, just copy the command that we have here, come to the PowerShell or PuTTY, right click, and then press enter. It's basically going to create a new text file that we can paste the scripts in. And then here what we're going to do is we're going to copy the script that he has provided here, right click, choose copy, come to the console, right click and paste this, and like we did with the previous scripts, just press Ctrl X to try to exit the buffer, and then press Y to save this, and then press enter to write the file. And then after you have done this, what we have to do now is to run the script that we just installed. So just come here, copy the next command, paste this in here, and then press enter. So that was pretty quick. So now what we have to do now is to connect to the Ubuntu desktop. Now to do so, I'm going to minimize everything here. Just come to your Windows and look for an application that is called Remote Desktop Connection. I think this is also available for Mac users. Now here, what you're going to have to do is to put in the IP address of your server. So I'm going to put in the password and just click on connect. And then it's going to ask you if that the source is not verified, you want to connect to the server. If you are pretty sure that's the server you want to connect to, just click on yes. And then it's going to bring you to this dashboard where we're going to enter into the console or into the Ubuntu desktop server. Now at this point, you remember the username and the password that we put into the text editor to run the script. Basically just put in the username here. So mine was Dipin, and then here just put in the password that you created. So it's a bit annoying because here you can't really paste anything, so you basically have to type in everything one by one. After you have done everything, just click on OK to connect to the console. So because it's a UI interface, it could be that it would run a bit slow. It could also be that it's a bit slow because of my internet connection. And then here, all you have to do is to paste in the same password that you used to connect to this end. I'm going to paste this in. At least here you can use Ctrl V, so you can paste in the password pretty easily. And then when you are done, just click on authenticate. And then this will bring you to the initial setup of Ubuntu. If you want, I can just click on start setup to go through the initial process. And then here I'm going to leave everything as it is. I'm going to click on next. I'm going to leave everything as it is here, and then basically we can start using Ubuntu. So now basically for my initial setup of Ubuntu, we are done. What we have to do now is to run the rCLIENT application. So to do this, just click on activities. If you don't see anything, just be a bit more patient. Like I said, it takes a while before it loads. And then down here you see that we have files, so you can click on files. If you do not see files, you can just click on the search button here and also type in files. I'm going to close this. I don't want to do this update now. It appears it didn't take place. I have to repeat this again. I'm going to click on activities. So it could be that my internet is pretty slow, and that's why it doesn't run that smoothly at my end. So I'm going to click on files now, and then when the files manager opens, just come to documents, and this is where you would see the file that we downloaded or the rCLIENT that we want to install. Now here it's very easy to double click to open the client. I can close this here. And then here the software is basically going to take you through a quick glance about what we have here. So you can click on next. It's going to tell you, so here this is where you're going to allocate how much disk space you want to designate to the console, to the server. You can press next here. This is where you're going to enter your wallet address, and then when you click next, this is basically where you're going to stop, pause, or run the node. I'm going to click on next, and I'm going to click on finish. Now what you're going to have to do first, so come to the storage control and then put in how much disk space that you want to put in. So I saw on Discord, he also mentioned on his tutorial that the maximum is 200. So I'm just going to go with 200 SSD. So just make sure that here we don't have SSD. I do not have any HDD. So basically if you put anything here, it's nonsense. You can't even put anything here because I have an SSD. That's why I can put this here. So here I'm going to put in 200 and I'm going to click on apply. Now the next thing that we're going to have to do is to put in our wallet address. So I'm just going to copy my wallet that I want to use for this console. Come here. You can use Ctrl V to paste in your wallet address and then just press save. Now here, be very, very careful. It appears that it's not somehow working if you want to change the wallet. So just be sure that this is the wallet that you want to use. So when I'm done, I'm just going to click on save. And then basically you see that it says that enter the address successfully, which basically means that your wallet has been appended to the software. And then here you can click on play to start a node. So you see that the status changed now to node running. And it's going to do a few pinging, and soon you will see some notification here that it says here, congratulations, you are now connected to our network. Pinging master node worked successfully. So now you can click on validate nodes here to validate your node, which you have to do. But this is going to open a browser that you would have to go in to put in your MetaMask. So I personally do not like to put in or to load my MetaMask wallets or any wallet that has some token into a VPS. So I'm going to just do this on the usual console. So you can just come to your RIVALZ dashboard, and then currently you see that I have under validated clients, I have 3 out of 4, which means that there is 1 client that is not validated. Now to validate, just click on, you can come here, click on validate clients to get points. And then here you see that I have 3 that are running and I have 1 that is not validated. So to validate, all you have to do is to just click on validate, and then you see that it says that validation is successful. So actually from a setup perspective in the client, you're done. And what you can also do is to check to see if you have any power options that would put your PC or your VPS server in sleep mode. So I can just check this by putting in power. So I saw that for the lower versions of Ubuntu, there was something like this. So here, click on settings to view your power settings. Make sure that you do not click on power off because basically if you shut down the server, your node is not going to work, so you wouldn't have any reward. So basically everything here looks good. I'm screen blank, I don't care because I'm not going to be keeping the screen on all the time. So basically from setting up the node, you are done here. You don't need to do anything, right? Basically everything is going to operate in the background for you, and that's also the advantage with the VPS, that you don't need to worry about uptime, right? So when you're done here, you can just click on close here to close or to disconnect you from the VPS server. And don't worry, this is not going to stop your node from running. This just basically just means that you are disconnected from the VPS client. And then here when I come back to, so you can just click here, go to the minus, and you would see immediately that within some time your points would rank up slowly. So I think I learned that the maximum that you can get is 200, and I hope that you would also be able to secure a slot to get a node. So even if you don't want to get a node, you can see that spinning up this rCLIENT node would also get you rewards. So it's a win anyway. If you have any questions, you can reach out to the team on Discord. So the RIVALZ Discord is a very, very active community, so you can put in any questions that you would have. Crypto Node Farmer also has his own Discord channel, which I would also recommend that you join his Discord channel. He's extremely good. Without him, we wouldn't have been able to do the setup. And also give him a follow on Twitter. You can also write to him on Telegram and stuff like that. If you have any questions, you can also put this in the comment section. If I'm able to help, I would be able to help you out. If not, I can always redirect you to the right resources. Thanks for watching this video. Like the video and subscribe to my channel to see more like this. See you in the next one. Bye.